Ika-40 nga sesyon ng Sangguniang Panlungsod, Siyudad Hitong, Borongan, Hunyo 5, 2020, Part 2.
Siguro within this June, magkakamilit na nahin kuan solusyon. Pero storyahan dadaman aman mga palandun sila.
Sige, Honorable Arago and then Honorable Sweet.
Please use the microphone.
Can you use the microphone?
If possible, to include this request also of the Eastern Summer Transportation group. Kasi kariyag liwat nera, di naman lang malimbre, pero ordinance, kahit ang ordinance, dako man support. Darang COVID, kariyag naman lang nera mga ka-discount up to 50. And this involves amendment laana from the ordinance. Whenever, if the problem on these tools, magkamay-ada committee meeting, i-include ini nga kanan is transport. Yeah.
Siguro let's schedule a committee meeting on
Ito.
June 10. 8 morning siguro, ikanan pa yung payong lahat.
No, yung padala.
Session na June 10.
June 11.
I suggest, yung padala itong kanan is transport, di man maiha. Di man maiha.
Sige.
Padala hira.
Parang June 11, kay, parang kuha niya. Ito na laan ay hapa yung payong, mga siguro 9. Siguro may 10, may tanahin haira kuhan. And then, kanan transport naman.
Even the tricycle, they are also requesting non-payment of the 3 pesos from the VCTT. Apriho, tayo obus mo affected, aside na naman ko. Aside from the adjusted fare, di ba? Gindigit nga ni ito na 3 pesos kay mawawara naman income ng VCTT. I think we should include that na lang dito natin.
Sige,
Sige. The Honorable Sweet, I agree that we should conduct a committee hearing. Pagsunda tala ito. Kasi yan na actually nga tanan problemado. Matanla naman namang laway, klarado. Karayag na buligan ka mo kasi parang ikaw mo itambulig naman na gobyerno, may ng mga magamit na kwarta pan kukanin mga serbisyo. Pero, sharing pa man, taxes is the lifeblood of the nation. Pero kung wala naman na makukuha yung taxes, kung wala man naman iyo pangita, unfair na may tamo na pagpupaga naman ka mo. Diyan bayanihan lo, in-extend na niyo payments. So, on April to May, dapat to ito i-staggered yan, i-spread. Nga tanan, di rin lahayo. Pati mga loans, kasi national government ito nga tanan i-spread. Itatin lang, maging humane, maging acceptable, maging reasonable. City government, hayo naman, maging acceptable. Para win-win, kasi kinalan naman mabuhi itatin gobyerno. At the same time naman, hayo naman, kinalan naman, okay hayo. Acceptable hayo. Nga di rin ka mo, mabubutang sitwasyon na parang di na kami magdinegosyo. Kasi di man ang kaya. Di rin nam kareg naman hinugan. Bubalikan naman ka maset na pag-i-restoryahan na maset. That's why I agree that we should conduct a committee hearing as soon as possible. Yes.
Kasi they are a special case kay dire hirakwan. Up to now, dire hira allowed.
Okay.
So, we need to discuss this separately kay parang dire hira applicable hataton city ordinance nga nag-extend and payment and taxes and other fees nga imposed by the city.
So, balik na po yan. Ang hirap mga surcharges dahil
What I surcharge? What I surcharge? What I surcharge? What I niyo surcharge based on actually may kukuan niya na. So sige, haiyo rest assured lang kamo nga tatratanon tahin kay kinahanglan nga tanan kita hindi niya Borongan magburublig, diri la one-sided, diri la gobyerno it nabubuhi kundi nga tanan. Siring pa ni Honorable Cainday, we will set a meeting on June 11 at 9 a.m. Siguro pa siya. Mahatag na lang kami surat ay iyo pag-imbitar. Sige. So,
ang kanan March, kasi han March, nakapag-open kami. So, ang iba kaamon, waray papakabayan rental payment han March. For clarification lang, may na bahit namon magiging surcharge ang mga waray. So, dili na kami
alright, nalit nga surcharge.
Kasi baka mamaya, di ba, na magbayad kami sa treasurer. Tapos, hangganan March lang, kay syempre, half-an month, nakapag-open man kami. So, bangin kami, suktan, ang surcharge. Para assurance kaamon.
Sige lang, yes, go ahead, Honorable
Ano
Arago.
ba kapit yung pagbabayad mula?
At least, kailangan before end of the month, nakabayad kami. Oo.
Every 20th day, Tira.
Every 20 days.
20th day.
Anong March? May daan na kabayan ayo.
May ada uusap, pero aram ko sinuktan hiyang penalty. May penalty.
Take note like niyo.
So, for clarification, kasi ito iba, kasi karami, ito mga wari pakabayan, prioritize naman na ng family expenses, personal expenses. So, asya, every month magbayad nga kami, yan na, susuktan kami ang surcharge, kaya isa namon, may sinuktan.
Sige lang, pag-aad man tadamay. Pero rest assured nga, pag may mila katatanggalan tayo. Sige. So, Tuesday na lang kita, alas 9, mapatawag na lang ating Committee on Finance and Committee on Tourism. Thursday, sorry. Thursday at 9 a.m. para pag-restoryahan. So, ikamot kahulog. Buburoblig lang kita.
Thank you, sir.
Sige, thank you. So, Madam Floor Leader.
What ito na?
Morena.
Honorable Presiding Officer, I move that we lift the suspension of our internal rules of procedure.
Any objections? And so the temporary suspension of our internal rules is hereby lifted. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Okay, now move on to the continuation of Engineer Lagdaan of his eager result report.
The Honorable Daza.
I would like to manifest po that Engineer Lagdaan is on travel. So, masabit na lang po yan niya travel documents pagbalik niya.
Okay, noted. Sige. Mr. Secretary, next item.
So we now move on to the reading and consideration of the minutes of the regular session held last May 22 and May 27, 2020.
Okay, so the minutes was emailed to you. So 2-minute reading on the minutes from May 22. Sige. So, any corrections? Any amendments from the minutes held last May 22nd? The Honorable Anacta Sadak.
Hello. Line number, I would like to make an amendment on line number 479.
38, regular session.
38 regular session. 479. Please amend the 70 million appropriation. It was agreed in the meeting that the appropriation was not 70 million. It was 60 million for Dukwag Agrikultura and 4 million for the veterinary office. And also, line 481, I did not make a motion during the session. I made the motion during the committee meeting to approve the loaning facility instead of approving the ordinance institutionalizing Dukwag Agrikultura. That's it.
Please take note, Mr. Secretary. So, any more amendments, corrections? None. So, Madam Floor Leader.
Honorable Presiding Officer, I move for the approval of the minutes of the 38th regular session.
Any objections? Further discussions? None.
As
So the
amended.
minutes from the 38th regular session is hereby approved as amended. So let's go to the minutes held last May 27th. So any corrections? Amendments? 39th regular session held last May 27th. Corrections?
Sir, I don't have a copy of.
It was emailed.
I just reserve my right to make an amendment. The next session.
Okay, noted.
Thank you.
So, Madam Floor Leader.
Honorable Presiding Officer, I move for the approval of the 39th, regular session, of the minutes of 39th regular session, also including the amendments that will be further suggested by Honorable Suyot.
Any second? Second. Any objections? None. So the minutes from the 39th regular session is hereby approved, pending to the corrections of Honorable Suyot. Next item, Mr. Secretary.
Okay, we now move on to the status report. Committee on Finance regarding the proposed ordinance regarding Borongan City Tabo Day.
The Committee Chair on Finance, what is the status?
Honorable Presiding Officer, the last meeting that we held on this, regarding this, was last April. early April, and so there has been no substantial report or substantial results of the meeting for this agenda or for this proposed ordinance, as we had to tackle other more important matters. But this will be rescheduled again for committee meetings in the coming weeks.
Okay, noted. Next item, Mr. Secretary.
Committee on Finance regarding the assessor's request, proposed revision of the scheduled market value of real property in Borongan City.
So the Committee Chair on Finance again.
Honorable Presiding Officer, I have as the chairman of the Committee on Finance, this has been paused because it is untimely to increase again our real estate, real property taxes during this time of crisis. So we have not yet held a committee meeting regarding this matter, but in the coming weeks again, this will be scheduled for committee meetings.
Okay, very good. Next item, Mr. Secretary.
Social Welfare, proposed revision of Gender and Development Code.
So the Committee Chair on Social Welfare.
Honorable Presiding Officer, I need more time regarding the revision of the Gender Development Code, because I'm not just doing a minor revision but a comprehensive one. So I still need more time.
Okay, noted. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Disaster Management, proposed ordinance mandating all motorcycle riders to wear protective helmets while driving.
So the Committee
Presiding
Chair
Officer.
on Disaster Management.
The proposed ordinance, we conducted our committee meeting last November 13, but due to the COVID crisis, the public hearing has been held, so we will conduct public hearing maybe the next week or the other week, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Okay, noted. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
A joint committee, Finance and Trade, regarding amendment of Market Code.
So
Honorable
the Committee Chair on Finance.
Honorable Presiding Officer, again, the meetings conducted on this matter has been put to halt as it is not yet a priority during this pandemic. But then again, since we are almost back to normal operations, rest assured that committee meetings on this matter will be held in the coming weeks.
Okay, noted. Next item, Mr. Secretary.
Personnel Administration, regarding the Legislative Human Resource Development Plan.
So the Committee Chair on Personnel Administration. The Honorable Anacta. Sadak.
The Praise Committee has not yet submitted the required resolution, so this is still pending.
Okay, noted. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Transportation, regarding an ordinance prescribing clear guidelines on towing, impounding, and releasing impounded vehicles, and providing certain penalties as may be appropriate and necessary.
So the Committee Chair on
Thank you,
Transportation.
Mr. Chair. Actually, before the COVID issue, I have started researching on this particular ordinance already. But then there was no much development because of the COVID-19. Hopefully, I will be resuming this issue on the guidelines on towing and impounding.
Okay, noted. Sige. Next item, Mr. Secretary.
Youth and Sports Development, regarding the proposed ordinance creating Borongan City Sports Council.
So the Committee Chair on Youth and Sports.
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. The committee haven't had a meeting yet since sport activities has been suspended due to COVID-19 pandemic, and the chair also paved way to meetings which were more urgent in response to our health crisis. But as soon as we'll be getting back to normal, we'll get back to this soon po, Honorable Presiding Officer. Thank you.
Okay. Sige. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Laws and rules regarding a resolution creating a backstopping committees of the Sangguniang Panlungsod.
So the Committee Chair on Laws and Rules.
Thank you. Honorable Presiding Officer, we already conducted a committee meeting regarding this proposed resolution, but it is not yet final, so this proposed resolution is subject for further committee meetings.
Okay, noted. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Transportation, regarding the memorandum issued by the ILG prohibiting tricycle and pedicab on national highways.
So the committee chair on transportation.
Yes, Mr. Chair, this ordinance is on the drafting aspect. However, on the issue of what part of the national highway will be provided that pedicabs will not pass it, the traffic management section is now under study. They are undergoing a dry run. Hopefully, this dry run, after the dry run, I'll be able to have their recommendation. And we are at least trying to hold on the fact that from the corner of by 1 up to by 3, the tricycles should be prohibited from passing on that. At present, the dry run is still undergoing. I'm waiting for the recommendation of the.
Okay, noted. Next item, Mr. Secretary.
Tourism, proposed ordinance prescribing rules and guidelines for the establishment, operation, and maintenance of cockpit arenas and derby centers, and regulating regular cockfighting and cockstag derbies in the city of Borongan.
So the committee chair on tourism. You have the floor.
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. Due to COVID-19, we haven't conducted any committee hearings with regards to this matter. And also, I believe that cockfighting is not allowed during this pandemic period. That's all.
Okay, noted. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Joint Committee, Transportation and Finance, regarding the proposed ordinance establishing free transportation for students and senior citizens in Borongan City.
So the committee on finance and
Thank you,
transportation.
Mr. Chair. Actually, we have conducted several committee meetings on this free transportation ordinance. But the last committee hearing, there was an issue that was brought out that it really needs some sort of go signal or an agreement with the LTF, what's it is? The Department of Transportation, because this is practically first in the country. So we decided to consult the Department of Transportation through Mr. Mark Hurtado. An invitation was given to the regional office if somebody will be present here during our committee meeting. And he is scheduling for the coming of that of the representative from the OTR, then to coincide also with our free time of the committee. And in fact, the mayor was able to converse with the OTR director, I think, a few days ago at ISO during their ITAF meeting. They are very willing to send somebody here, but the schedule is still left onto them on what day they will be coming here. So that is the time that we are waiting, so that it will coincide with our committee meeting, scheduled committee meeting on this matter.
Okay, noted. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Joint Committee, Peace and Order and Laws and Rules, regarding the proposed resolution authorizing the City Mayor in behalf of Celgio Borongan to enter into a memorandum agreement with the National Bureau of Investigation.
So the Committee on Peace and Order and Laws and Rules, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officers. Since there is no, this is not urgent on this proposed resolution, our local chief executive took just last week that this resolution maybe is still pending because we are still on giving relief to other LGUs, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Okay, noted. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Joint Committee, Transportation and Finance, proposed ordinance institutionalizing the grant of emergency financial assistance to tricycle drivers in the city government of Borongan during public emergencies.
So the committee chair on finance and transportation.
Honorable Presiding Officer, this is actually evolved into a new normal ordinance wherein we gave a special fare rate in order to assist our tricycle drivers, considering the restrictions that the health protocols also that needs to be in place. So this has evolved into a new normal ordinance which will be later on discussed in our session.
Okay, noted. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Committee on Health, proposed ordinance institutionalizing public safety protocols in times of public health emergencies.
So the committee chair on health.
Honorable Presiding Officer, the resource persons like our physicians and other healthcare workers are still busy due to the COVID threat, so we have not conducted committee meeting yet.
Okay, thank you. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Committee on Finance, an ordinance institutionalizing the grant of emergency financial assistance to frontline workers of the city government of Borongan during public emergencies.
The committee on finance.
Honorable Presiding Officer, this is due for committee meeting also. However, this financial assistance has already been given to our frontline workers but provided by the Executive Department.
Okay, sige, noted. Mr. Secretary.
A Joint Committee, Infrastructure and Finance, regarding various infra projects.
So the committee chair on finance and infrastructure.
Mr. Chair, we are scheduling a committee meeting on this aspect this coming week.
Okay, noted. Next item, Mr. Secretary.
Committee on Health, proposed ordinance establishing safety measures in order to minimize the possibility of local transmission of COVID.
The committee chair on health.
Mr. Presiding Officer, the committee is still amending some provisions in order to incorporate the new normal protocols in order to minimize the possible local transmission of COVID.
Okay, that's very good. So next item, Mr.
Committee
Secretary.
on Health, proposed ordinance regulating certain activity to prevent the spread of COVID.
This ordinance, sponsored by Honorable Soyut, has already been approved and enacted.
Mr. Secretary, please take note that this is already approved. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
A Committee on Finance request of OIC City Treasurer to pass and approve a resolution granting a moratorium or extension of the period of payment of taxes.
The Committee on Finance.
Honorable Presiding Officer, this has also been enacted already. In fact, we already had a visitor earlier in the session appealing to this, appealing for more extension. But this is already enacted and in fact implemented in the city.
Thank you.
So this should be removed from the status request.
Mr. Secretary, kindly update your list from the status reports. Dapat maaram kamuhin nga humanayin nga dire pa human nga aton mga kuan. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Joint Committee, Trade and Finance, regarding an ordinance institutionalizing partnership by the city government of Borongan with providers of goods and services through the memorandum of agreement to ensure their availability within the city of Borongan immediately before, during, and right after the state of calamity.
So, the Committee Chair on Trade and Finance. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. The committee manifests that this said referral has not been addressed yet. The committee will set and schedule this coming June, maybe next week. Thank you.
Okay, noted. So next item, Mr.
Committee on
Secretary.
Personal Administration regarding an ordinance requiring the different offices of the city of government, other government offices, business establishments, and other entities to formulate, practice, and promote electronic, online, and mobile operation, procedures, and processing, to lessen the need for face-to-face transaction within the city of Borongan.
So the Committee Chair on Personnel Administration. You have the floor.
Mr. Presiding Officer, we have not conducted any committee meeting yet, so maybe if the schedule permits, we will do it next week.
Or you can incorporate this on the new normal. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Joint Committee, Transportation, Finance, and Trade, regarding an ordinance granting special tricycle fare adjustment for tricycle operating within the territorial jurisdiction of Borongan City due to COVID-19 pandemic.
So the committee chair on transportation, finance, and trade. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Actually, this is a topic of our business for the day. The ordinance is scheduled for second reading already. I submitted.
Okay, noted. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Committee on Agriculture regarding the Dukwag Agrikultura.
The committee chair on agriculture. You have the floor.
I'm just waiting for the final consolidation of the amendments from the Committee on Finance. Chairman, Committee on Finance.
Okay, noted.
And
Yes, go
on the Finance Committee, regarding the Dukwag Agricultura, I am just awaiting more documents from our resource persons, Dr. John Ang and
Mr.
Sir
Gabornes.
Maki Gabornes. But I will consolidate this for further suggested revisions of the Dukwag Agricultura Ordinance.
Okay, noted. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Committee on Laws and Rules regarding the later complaint against punong Barangay JB Palada o Barangay Balod.
So the committee chair on laws and rules.
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. As of this moment, the committee has not yet received the verified answer from our respondent po ng Barangay Jed Palada of Barangay Balod. I would like to remind the respondent that his deadline is on June 7, 2020.
June 8,
June 8,
June 8, 2020.
Monday.
Monday. Okay.
Time.
Thank you. Committee chair on laws and rules. Next item, Mr. Secretary.
Letter AA, Committee on Laws and Rules, administrative case against Kagawad Sara Basilian, Sirela Factor,
No,
of Canabong.
Thursday.
Letter Z, it has already been active perhaps.
Not yet.
Committee on Laws and Rules, administrative case against punong Barangay Ralph Alconaba, Barangay Tabuk, for gross neglect of duty for failure to liquidate 600,406.25 centavos.
The
Financial.
committee chair on laws and rules.
We have the committee has a scheduled hearing on June 8, 9 a.m. for
Noted.
this administrative case.
So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Laws and Rules regarding the complaint against Sara Basilia and Sirela Factor of Barangay Canabong.
The committee chair on laws and rules.
The committee also has a scheduled hearing regarding this case on June 8, 2 p.m.
Okay, noted. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Committee on Finance, the request of IC Population Officer for appropriation, reversion of fund amounting to 930,000.
So the committee chair on finance.
Honorable Presiding Officer, the Committee on Finances conducted a committee meeting regarding this matter last June 4, 2020, and we have found out that this reversion is proper. However, we are awaiting for the some other information regarding the accountability of some of the supplies that are needed for the reversion. In order for us to allow this, we will conduct another committee meeting week after next week in order to finalize this.
Okay, noted. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Joint Committee, Public Utilities and Finance regarding the request of the Mayor to pass an ordinance utilizing the savings from funds of completed project under the 20% Development Fund in the amount of 6,150,000.
So the committee chair on public utilities and finance.
So,
Mr. Presiding Officer,
Yes, go ahead.
I talked to the city engineer together with the assistant assessor last Wednesday. We agreed to conduct committee meeting by next week. But I would like to ask the committee chair on finance on what date next week we can conduct a committee meeting.
Honorable Presiding Officer, considering all the scheduled meetings next week, we no longer have any available schedule for next week. So maybe the week after next week. And this, based on our first committee meeting on the matter, we still have important issues that needs to be settled before we can legally allow this. Because I think this matter is very delicate, and we should treat this with utmost care, since the lot that we are talking about here is not yet under the name of the city.
Okay, noted. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Committee on Finance, review of 2020 Barangay Annual Budget o Barangay Kalikuan.
Honorable Presiding Officer.
Yes, go ahead. Honorable.
We have not yet conducted a committee meeting regarding this, as we have other pending barangay annual budgets which have been submitted lately, and the Committee on Finance, in order not to waste our time, would like to hold a committee meeting on this once there are other available barangay annual budgets for review.
Okay, noted. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
We now on committee report.
Letter 80.
Letter 80.
The Joint Committee Health and Laws and Rules resolution authorizing the local chief executive to enter into any form of contracts or memorandum of agreement with establishment or agency urgently needed for all COVID-19 related matters. What is the status of this
We conducted a
request from the
committee
mayor?
meeting already, and I will render my committee report later.
Okay, noted. Mr. Secretary, kindly
Insert. Okay na, we'll move on.
next item, Mr. Secretary.
Okay, now move on to committee report. Committee on Transportation and Finance on the proposed ordinance, a new normal ordinance regarding tricycle operation within the territorial jurisdiction of Borongan City during COVID-19 pandemic.
So the Committee Chair on Transportation and Finance, yeah, you have the floor.
We have drafted already an ordinance for second reading. However, I want to read the committee report on our joint Committee on Transportation and Committee on Finance and public hearing, which was held last May 29, 2020. On the proposed ordinance, a new formal ordinance regarding tricycle operation within the territorial jurisdiction of the city of Borongan City during COVID-19 pandemic. The brief committee report reads: action findings. The joint committee meeting and public hearing was conducted on May 29, 2020, 9 a.m. at the Exposition Hall. Actually, this committee hearing was the third committee meeting. This was the last. This agency attended and was attended by the committee members, heads of offices concerned, tricycle drivers and operators, including TUDA presidents, students, OSCA president, the media, and the riding public. The participant in the committee meeting and public hearing unanimously requested for the inclusion in the proposed ordinance, aside from the affirmatives, the following with. To be included are DOH hygiene protocol shall be specifically be stated or provided in the ordinance. The operator drivers should personally request a copy of fare matrix and a copy of DOH hygiene protocol measures free of charge from the TLFRU office of this agency for lamination and posting inside the tricycle. Monthly rotation of the added event scheme recommended by the executive order shall be made for equal opportunity to operate on days of expected higher passenger influx. Tricycle load shall be limited to only 2 passengers. Tricycle fare to any long distance route was computed to 4 passengers times the existing fare rate that was approved in our latest approved tricycle ordinance series of 2020, divided by 2 as the only load capacity to any route. For example, going to Bugas, the computation was for 4 passengers based on our approved ordinance, then divided by 2 because there is only 2 allowed passengers. And for short ride, the committee agreed and approved the amount of 13 pesos per passenger. That is within the population area. There being no comments and suggestions, the joint committee meeting and public hearing adjourned at noon, 11:58 noon. And here I am submitting also the final draft ordinance, which I think I will read. Submitted for second reading. City Ordinance Number Series of 2020. A new normal ordinance regarding tricycle operation within the territorial jurisdiction of Borongan City during the COVID-19 pandemic. Whereas on April 24, 2020, Resolution 28 Series of 2020 was issued by the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases, and which was adopted and approved by President Rodrigo Duterte. Whereas under said resolution, certain areas in the country have been identified to be placed under general community quarantine, where public transportation may be allowed under limited number and reduced capacity to ensure social distancing, per recommendation of the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases, which category may change based on affected areas or period of activity of general community quarantine. Whereas Mr. Marcos P. Abunales, representing the Tricycle Operators and Drivers Association of the City, formally requested a new fare rate adjustment due to the present situation that tricycle passengers is limited to a maximum of 2 capacity, and the odd-even scheme coding on their operation per executive order greatly lowered their daily income. Whereas this ordinance shall automatically be revoked upon official declaration by the national government that the COVID-19 pandemic is already under control or manageable. Whereas after a thorough study on the merits of the request and taking into consideration the plight and interest of the local tricycle transport sector and the riding public, the Sangguniang Panlungsod finds the special fare adjustment reasonable, be it ordained by the Sangguniang Panlungsod of Borongan City in Session Assembly. Section 1. The ordinance shall be known as the New Normal Ordinance regarding tricycle operation within the territorial jurisdiction of Borongan City during the COVID-19 pandemic. Section 2. The fare matrix provided herein shall constitute the new adjusted tricycle fare rate of the city. The fare matrix, I think, was put in the computer, was inputted in the computer together with the subject ordinance. I think you have to refer to that, the fare matrix, the approved fare matrix. Of course, this is based on the fare matrix, as I've said in the committee meeting, was based on our approved ordinance, basing the 9 peso short ride rate. As I've said, and for long distance rides, times we consider there was a very big discussion among the attendees that some people, manifested, especially the tricycle operators, manifested that it should be times 6, the maximum. And on the part of the riding public, some also manifested that it should be computed of 3 only. But then, upon discussions, the two parties, the riding public and the tricycle operators, have agreed to have to agree on the computation of having 4 passengers based on our average, on our transportation rate during normal times, then divided by 2, because there is only 2 passengers during the COVID-19 pandemic. So it appears that there was an increase of from our approved rate and our latest ordinance, series of 2020. there is an increase of 100%, almost 100%. 100% increase for long distance ride. For example, for Canabong, the approved rate was 11 pesos. On the computation of 4 passengers times 44 divided by 2 passengers, nagiging 22 pesos. However, on the short ride, we agreed on a lower percentage from 9 pesos to only 13. But on the long rides, actually the computation is 100% because of the 2 passengers only. Please refer to the metrics if you have some copy on that also for our deliberation.
Yes.
Section 3, there shall be a 20% discount for the following: persons with disabilities, senior citizens, and students from a person of enrollment up to the end of the school year. Semester including summer classes upon presentation of their valid IDs. This is for specifics, we included in the Section 3, short ride, minimum ride is 13 pesos per passenger. Section 4, the operator driver shall personally request for the copy of this fare metrics and DOH hidden protocol measures free of charge from the TLFRU officer and shall be laminated for posting inside the tricycle. Those who fail to post the new fare metrics together with DOH hygiene protocol will be dealt with accordingly. Section 5, tricycle load in any route within the city must not exceed 2 passengers only. Section 6, DOH hygiene protocol on transport operation shall strictly be followed, failure of which shall result in their denial to ride, operate, and enter terminals to wait. Drivers shall wear face masks and gloves at all times. Commuters shall wear face masks to be allowed to board. Physical distancing must at all times be observed while inside the vehicle. Operators or drivers shall install acetate separators on the driver's side and the passenger side of the front and the rear portion of the vehicle. Vehicles shall always be clean and sanitized. Section 7. The odd-even number scheme of tricycle operation embodied in Section 5B of Executive Order Number JIDCA 0080420 series of 2020 of the City Mayor shall continue to be enforced except during emergencies. This odd-even scheme shall have a monthly rotation to allow equal opportunity to operate on days of expected higher passenger influx. This was done because there were complaints from on this odd-even scheme that some tricycles get more income during Mondays and Fridays. So what we did was to rotate monthly the numbering, code numbering, to solve the impasse of the tricycle drivers. Section 8, implementing agencies. The Office of the Tricycle Franchising and Licensing Regulatory Unit, Traffic Management Code, and Borongan City Transport Terminal shall enforce this ordinance upon effectivity and issue necessary guidelines to effectively carry out the provisions thereof. Section 9, Penalty Clause. Any person not complying with the provisions of this ordinance shall be meted a fine of first offense 3,000, second offense 4,000, third offense 5,000, and cancellation of franchise and imprisonment upon discretion of the court. Section 10, Repealing Clause. Any ordinance, rules, and regulations that are inconsistent herewith are hereby repealed, amended, or modified accordingly. Section 11, Separability Clause. If any provision of the ordinance is declared unconstitutional, other parts of provisions interpreted herewith shall continue in full force and effect. This ordinance shall take effect immediately upon approval. Mr. Chair, I submit this draft ordinance for comments to the whole body, and if ever there will be no more comments or amendments that will be acceptable, we will be taking it and approve this ordinance for second reading.
Okay, so what is the pleasure of the body? Any question? Yes, Honorable Cainday and then Honorable Suyot.
Honorable Presiding Officer, just on Section 7, I think this needs amendment since the time that we had our public hearing, there was another issuance again by our Honorable Mayor of a new executive order, which may be more applicable. So let's just update our executive order based on the new issuance, since we had this committee meeting prior to the issuance of such executive order. And secondly, just to clarify an statement ni Honorable Arago regarding the fares, ang nagiging effect is hanuna nagkakamay dahin sobra-sobra nga pagsukot han mga riding public ta kay nagiging times 3 since ang ginihimo nira times 6 passengers divided by 2. So nagkakamay din 200% increase in the fares. So yan kay nag-restorya kami during the public hearing. I also would like to appreciate ang aton mga tricycle operators over here nga inintindihira nga tanan kita yan nga COVID-19 nga tanan may losses pero dapat diri lasug ka ora-ora. That's why we have this ordinance nga base mabalanse an aton kanan mga tricycle drivers pati ang riding public. So the net effect of this is nagiging times 2 an aton long rides nga fares instead nga times 3 in order also to avoid hiton nga mga excessive charges. And isa pa nga notable change din here which I also which is also very important is the statement wherein the odd-even scheme will already be rotated per month. So if during June the MWF tricycles which may operate are the odd numbers, in July, the MWF schedule will be given to the even-numbered tricycles. This is in response sa iba ka tricycle drivers nga nasa ring mas madamot pasahero kung MWF compared kung TTH para may nira nga tanan equal opportunity nga pumasada hit nga mga panahon daman nga considered hiya nga MWF. So that is just my manifestation, Honorable Presiding Officer. A suggestion to maybe update Section 7 of the proposed ordinance, and also to commend the Honorable Chairman in coming up with this ordinance and in being very patient and very persistent in making sure that this ordinance be passed timely kay June na. So, thank you.
Suggestions were taken, Mr. Chair.
Okay, noted. Sige, the Honorable PCL President.
May I ask for a copy so that I can make a necessary or suggestion?
This was all emailed to us day before. Yes.
But can we have a printed copy, please? Pasila matayad ko
Anyway, sige, the Honorable Arago, kindly furnish a copy. So any more suggestions?
One suggestion, Mr. President.
Yes, go ahead, Honorable. So,
based on what I've heard, Section 12, effectivity, this ordinance shall take effect immediately upon approval. You have to understand that this is a penal ordinance. There is a penalty clause. Publication is a requirement. The second is that under Section 11, Section 9, I suggest, just a suggestion to the Chairman, if we can delete the cancellation of a franchise because that is administrative. There is a violation of the franchise. The executive can automatically cancel the franchise. But with respect to the penalties, the penalties provided under the local government code are fines and imprisonment, 3,000 until 5,000 pesos.
So you're suggesting to cancel the cancellation of
franchise. Pwede na kasi yan. Hindi dahil violation of franchise. Ikuha na. Kasi di dahil ato.
What's your opinion, everybody?
Yes, go ahead.
Hindi, nangangalaw pa kanina. Sige, go ahead lang.
With respect to the suggestion of Honorable Suyut regarding the effectivity, of course, this ordinance, it is just stated here that this ordinance shall take effect immediately upon approval. So, in our law, if that is what is stated, it is still presumed that this is of course, this means that it will take effect immediately after publication without waiting for the 15 days. So, it is already deemed included in this statement. So, there is no more need to amend this section. And as to the penalty clause, the cancellation of franchise and imprisonment is upon discretion of the court. So, it is not the executive who will implement this outright, but the courts. We can only implement the financial part of this.
Financial aspect.
Yes, my point is that this we should take a look at the local government code. The penalty allowed for ordinances that will be approved or enacted by the local government units. Because you will notice that it is only imprisonment and fine. And second, with respect to, just another comment, with respect to Section 12, so that this will, para natin mag-implementa, ba yung pagkita nila approve na, diretso na mag-implementa. Hindi rin mag-iinalatan ko kasi popost tamay, hindi kita Pag, approve na, pwede tatin lang, just for clarity, nga di rin ma-confuse and makakabasa.
Anyway, pwede pagpahilabaan. Anyway, that's very good suggestion. We will put it there.
Please take note.
Okay, please take note, it is carried. So some more.
Any more
suggestions?
Comments? Yes, go ahead, Honorable.
Isa pa. This is just my comment with respect to the requirement of implementing rules, because the law requires that there is only one under the law, the Constitution, is that there is only one delegation of power. So what has been delegated by Congress to the Sangguniang cannot be delegated to another, to the executive branch. In this case, there is an implementing clause. The implementing, no, that is not an implementing rules. I would like to retract my comment.
Okay, note.
Implementing agencies.
So any more
implementing agencies
any more comments? Suggestions? Amendments? No more? So the committee chair on transportation?
So, Mr. Chair, I move that this ordinance on new normal ordinance regarding tricycle operation within the territorial jurisdiction of Borongan City during COVID-19 pandemic be approved on second reading, including the amendment.
I second the motion.
Any objections? None? So the proposed ordinance, a new normal regarding tricycle operation within the territorial jurisdiction of the City of Borongan during COVID-19 pandemic is hereby approved on second reading. The Honorable Arago?
Because of exigency, clamor of our riding public and the tricycle operators and drivers, may I propose that this ordinance be approved on third reading.
I second the motion.
Any objections? Further discussions? None? So the proposed ordinance regarding the tricycle operation within the territorial jurisdiction of the Borongan City during COVID-19 pandemic is hereby approved on third and final reading. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Committee on Health.
Mr. President, sir,
Yes, go ahead, Honorable. Yes, go ahead.
Palanat lang. Di pa kinalakan, natin effectivity ba ini? Kasi COVID pandemic yan, naka-stress lang yan, COVID pandemic. Pero itato, hindi kinalaman ko din. Until when, itat effectivity? Once malift ba?
Once malift.
Waray na. Wala na yun kasi mag-wearin mo.
Wala na. This is revoke.
Automatic.
There is a requirement there.
Okay. Without need of legislative action.
Yeah, without automatically be revoked.
Be lifted.
Yeah, lifted that pandemic. We will resort to our previous normal ordinance.
Yes.
We'll be going back.
Okay, sige. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Committee on Health, proposed ordinance supporting proper dental health practice and penalizing illegal dental health practitioners in the City of Borongan.
So the Committee Chair on Health, you have the floor.
Good morning. Good afternoon. The Committee on Health conducted a hearing on the proposed dental health practice ordinance last May 26, 2020. The committee hearing was attended by the members of Committee on Health, Honorable Bagakay, Honorable Limbauan, Honorable Chu, and other Sangguniang Panlungsod members, Honorable Daza and Honorable Anacta. Also, the various stakeholders was also present during the public hearing. After thorough discussions and study about the proposal, the Committee on Health has come up with the following findings. Number 1, the proposed dental practice ordinance, which has been explained to those present as the localization of the Philippine Dental Act of 2007 RA 9848, is acceptable to various stakeholders that were invited to the public hearing. They were given their chance to speak about the ordinance, including the representative of those who conduct illegal dental practice, who was motivated to speak up upon the encouragement of Honorable Bagakay. First matter that was decided upon was the final title of the ordinance, which by now is an ordinance supporting proper dental health practice and penalizing illegal dental health practice in the City of Borongan, with the short title being the City of Borongan Dental Health Practice Ordinance of 2020. The issue of the importance of being registered and licensed was thoroughly discussed, and it was well received by those who attended the hearing, including the representative of those who conduct dental illegal practice. The representative from the solo parents raised a question about the provision regarding government-recognized schools, clarifying whether it meant that only graduates of dentistry and related courses from government-run schools are supposed to practice dental health-related activities. It was clarified the phrase government-recognized means that schools or institutions of learning must be licensed by the government, which include private schools. In the definition of terms, the umbrella term dental practitioners were included to introduce the various dental health practitioners such as dentists, dental hygienists, and dental technologists. It was also clarified that a dentist can make dentures as it is part of his or her mandate to perform any operation or part of an operation upon human oral cavity, jaws, teeth, and surrounding tissue. Honorable Limbauan suggested if the making of dentures can be included in the definition of dentist, but due to just mentioned provisions that since the definition of official definition as per RA 9848 or the Philippine Dental Act of 2017, Honorable Limbauan withdrew her suggestion. No other major discussions took place nor any other issues raised. In this regard, the committee recommends that the proposed City of Borongan Dental Health Practice Ordinance be approved by the Sangguniang Panlungsod. Honorable Presiding Officer, I move for the approval of the committee report.
What was the recommendation of the committee? Yes, go ahead, Honorable.
Hindi ba ng mga dental practitioners, yung mga parapanhimut ngipon, well treated in the ordinance? Kaya this is very prevalent in our place. Na diri mga license, mga practitioners, hindi nga nanihimut ngipon. In fact, the dentists, dinihat, nagpapahimo rin mga dentures, nga tuhit ka mga tao. Hira tagihimo po ni dentist. Itasokol itong dentist. Pero tagihimo, diri hadya gawas. If they are licensed to carry on with their business.
Yes, as long as they are licensed. the dental technicians are not allowed to handle patients because they are not trained to handle patients.
Yes.
The dentist will handle the patient, make the impression, and send it to the laboratory. Asya na po ito doon nga mga dental technologists.
Ito, dental technologists should also be licensed.
Opo, yes.
So, but then I think din niya Borongan,
Opo,
may mga
asya.
license.
That's why...
May mga license. So, mao pa yun nga ako yan. May mga license na nahimot din dentures.
Yes, most of them. All of them.
Okay, so what was the recommendation of the committee?
Kung wala license, I don't know how are we going to do it here now in Borongan. Baka
Yes,
to kita Manila, to the city, sa Pampay, Tacloban. Oh, yeah, sana ma-encourage nila yung pag-license.
Yeah. Okay. What was the recommendation of the committee?
The recommendation of the committee is to pass and approve the proposed ordinance for second reading.
Okay, what's
Second
the
motion.
pleasure of the body? Any comments, further discussions? None? So the committee chair on health?
Wait.
No comments?
I just have parang
Yes,
an
go ahead,
inquiry.
Cainday.
Since we are under a pandemic and as I recall, there are certain procedures kasi di ba our dentist will be put at risk kaya agad rahit mouth and then it COVID-19 yan it transmission so gahit din will the health protocols for dentists not be included here or it will be on another ordinance?
Salon.
Separate ordinance ba kanan parahan mga health protocols for dentists?
We already have health protocols for dentists recommended by the PDA and it was already, the mayor already made an EO adopting these protocols and guidelines made by PDA.
But the PDA, I think the executive order, in order for it to be institutionalized, should be adopted by the Sangguniang. And also for you to be able to implement it properly with the penalties provided therein also. Kay, as I see, this ordinance is an ordinance supporting proper dental health practice. So I think it should be part also of the parang your ordinance.
This ordinance was crafted before the COVID pandemic. So I will take note of your suggestion to make an ordinance regarding the protocols for dental practice, health protocols for dental practice. So before the deliberation of this proposed ordinance, I would just like to inform or show you why this ordinance is important. For several years.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, for several years, nagiging rampant na itong illegal practitioners all over the Philippines. And sadly, according nga ni to Honorable Arago, may damo it aton illegal practitioners din hit aton syudad. So I would just like to show you why this ordinance is important. These illegal practitioners, unfortunately, are being patronized by so many patients kasi their treatments are low cost, cheaper, yeah. Diri hira maaram kun diri hira aware hiton danger nga mahidudulot hinihaira. For example, this one, I will show you this. This is an illegal practitioner doing dentures. Asyanet nga mga dental laboratories nga mga illegal waray nira license. They don't even wear mask. They don't even wear gloves. And the patients allowed them to treat, di ba? Kakalikutan touch their mouth with their bare hands. Iton danger hini waray nira proper sterilization. Pwede ini mag-cause in infection like hepatitis, TB, HIV, and now we have COVID-19. Next slide, please. Next slide. So, there, itira mga gamit, they're sterilized. O, nakikita nim kung gaano kahugaw. So, next slide, please. So this one, iton nga mga do-it-yourself braces na damo na daman inihaaton ini nga mga do-it-yourself braces. Iton patient very aware that iton nga mga brackets, they have measurements kung paano iton ibubutang. So kung mahibutang itiya nga mali iton measurement, it will worsen the malocclusion or iton kasungki-sungki iton ngipon. And next slide please. And worse, magiging suga din hitim ngipon, magkakatatanggal. See? So, I'm showing you all this para ma-visualize niyo kung gaano ka-importante itong practice, itong dentistry nga dapat bubuhatan itong licensed dental practitioner only. So, itong purpose, the purpose of this ordinance is to lessen, if not eradicate, all dental practitioners in the city. So, with that, I submit
Okay, so any more
for deliberation.
any more suggestions? Yes, guys.
Just a moment. I understand that the rationale for the crafting of this ordinance is to discourage, if not eliminate, the illegal practice of this kind of profession. May I ask the proponent, hindi na-regulate ito on dental practice?
Here in our ordinance, the City Health Office and then the Philippine Dental Association Eastern Samar Chapter.
And just for the information of all, it may nanabakasin niya na itaton kasi may that national law. Mapapagat penalty. Itaton kasi din pag-discourage if not eliminating hire. Ngayon may karitangan yan ordinance, the intent is very good. Ano daw lang tatpagkalaw ito? Although that is speculative, nga bagin la di mahadlog ka, gutay penalty. Itira nga gutay penalty, tayo tabayin. Ako lang ito, just a comment. Kasi parang kung dituhan iba, mababagat kasi ang penalty. Igsumat lang, padakot lang, dito pa. Kundi guti ay
kasi
pag hindi mahadlok.
Yes, it was also my worry. We need to localize this law kasi para mas applicable hit atong situation. Ito national law kasi it's very broad. And then like dinhe pag it is easier nga ma-regulate hera kay hitatan local naman iton magre-regulate. So kunta, di ba, if we need to apprehend the illegal practitioner, we still have to file complaints sa NBI, nga waray ta mga ni NBI dinhe. So if it's localized, at least di ba, we can just file a complaint to our policemen, and then Hataton CHO, and then the Philippine Dental Association Eastern Samar Chapter will also help para ma-locate ini nga mga
concern la siguro ni attorneys. So yun, bakit kuno kulang hingi po ini nga balaod.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, go ahead, balaod.
Additional input para maging ma-regulate practice dental din. Ito nga, so pa-encourage sana itong ating dental practitioners nga dire kung magpapahimo yung denture, hipapahimo denture, hirapit natot do ngadto hit papahimuan. Do you know already that dental practitioner, technician is that license one. That is the actual practice ni tatabo good. Kay one time may da ko kilala nga nagtutirih nga tao igintot do kuno yan dentist. Ito na tao na nihimo yung denture, igagin pakinambalay. Imagine kay upay siguro niya kabadak kinantuya magpapahimo yan denture kay toto man dentist. Then actually ginwawara ani bahay ko anak siguro anak pansin wara kuno dinhi. Ano tim tuyo siguro nahadlek nga health taga health an nakadtuhay ya. Ultimately inulpot kay magpapahimo lahin denture diri man magche-check kung tahan iya practice. So tinanglan maging maragdag kagawad Katrina ito.
Sige, Honorable Cainday.
Hiya ko parang I understand kinabat concern ni Attorney Suyot and Honorable Arago. But for me actually, this is mopay ko nga nin hiya nga sugahin hiya nga localized kay if you will look at this ordinance, it's not really that similar to the national law. Kay mas stringent nga ni Indide as to how they will really assess kung ano na hiya, kung registered hiya or dire. And there's a need for us to localize this. Kaya the national law has been there. Kakanupait higihain at hiya. Pero apparently, we still have practicing illegal practitioners din ni Borongan. Nga very important nga ma-regulate na hira. Kaya they are touching or they are parang they are doing or kaya iragin treat itatan mouth nga asagad ka parang very direct ha itatan health. So it means nga ang national law diri pa aware ang mga Boronganan, diri aware ang mga aniha aton. So this is very commendable nga ni kasi this will also affect the practice of Doktora Anacta Sadak. But ako it's okay even if diri suwad ka na kaitkuan it iya penalty nga tag 5,000, 2,000 la. But I think we have other courts also nga makapagpataw haiyahin mas padaka nga penalty like maybe getting the license or revoking the license basta proper forum latim kinakatuan. This one is just an initial remedy. Di ba? An initial remedy line niya din niya Borongan and for us daman nga maging aware kita nga may natahin sug nga klasihin practice din niya Borongan nga diri hiya maupay nga nga dangerous damit atan health. And itatan mga dentists na kay nasumatan man hira because they were present during the public hearing, at least maram na hira nga next time you will only refer it to a practitioner nga registered. So I am fully in support of this ordinance.
The Honorable Daza.
Thank you. Maupay po niya i-localize din yung ordinance kasi usang advantage hit localized ordinance is that magkakamay adaptin database hit aton mismo syudad kung hinuit aton mga illegal practitioners. Tapos kung hangipon la ito naton ordinansa na ginihimo siguro ito sa katuig nga imprisonment ni po nagad po ada. I am in full support in localizing this ordinance po.
So, any more just go, Honorable Limbauan.
Here ako, I have the same views as with Honorable Cainday nga I think this ordinance mas better na niya kaysa naman dati nga bisan ni kita di kita marang nga may ako diri nga marang nga may danghit national law nga nagpipinalize it nga mga illegal practitioners. So I think this is better than waray. And also an committee report ni Dr. Sadak kanina, Honorable Sadak nga anakan manifestation nga sana igbutang dituhan ordinance kay an manhimon dentures kasi ako dire mak dentist dirak maaram nga ito natin mga dentist pwede nga andaman maghimuhin dentures all this time anakan la aram nga napahimula daman hera. So para lahit information katanan nga kung may datay may baruan nga ito nga mga dentist naghimun dentures pwede nga yan iton hera dire la an mga dental what do you call that technicians dental technicians. So with that I fully support this ordinance sponsored by Honorable Dr. Sadak.
So the proponent is amenable to the suggestion of sige,
yes,
go ahead.
Noted, Honorable Limbauan. In response to Honorable Arago's statement earlier regarding the dentist na nagre-recommend ngadtuhan illegal practitioner, we at the kami po na members itong Philippine Dental Association Eastern Samar Chapter, we do not patronize illegal practitioners. I don't know, maybe that dentist is not a member of our chapter.
In that particular aspect, I am the witness because he ako talaga ginimo na kindenture. Yeah, talking it actual, I don't want to mention. I don't want to mention I just want na makorek iton through your organization.
Yes, that's why.
I know that bawal iton pero kinikinanglan kumanhad to at panahon. Pero I realize I realize it when I went to other country na dili dapat.
Yes. So, pa yung manadaan illegal practitioner, dapat kumuha na lang yung lisensya.
In fact, this is an encouragement for dental practitioners, yung manhimuera in dental laboratories.
We are actually encouraging them to get a license.
Yes,
Kasi,
get a license.
di ba, makuri man kung diri ka lisensyado nga na dental technicians ka. So, kung lisensyado ka, the dentist here in Eastern Samar will patronize you. So, you will also have a business. Ay, makuri man kung illegal.
Yes. Sige, Honorable Aso. Then, one last clarification. May I know how many cases or complaints had been filed against illegal practitioner, mga denture practitioners? Here in Borongan or in the province of Eastern Samar?
Unfortunately, here in Eastern Samar, what I pa naka-file.
Fortunately,
No, unfortunately for the dental practitioners. Yeah.
Okay.
Waray pa kasi nga makuri kumuhahin evidence kay iton nga we have to syempre may witness iton mga patients nga gin kukuha ng mga witness diri hira na kuan ba na what do you call this na testigos, yes, na testigos kasi nga naman nahadlok hira. So with this siguro kung na malolocalize ta ngahin ma-aware na itong mga patients kasi diri hira aware diri hira maaram nga mga illegal practitioners din. So with this ordinance maybe mahibabaro hira kung hahain ba dapat hira kumadto. So yan na waray pa hit actually. Waray pa.
So the chair would just like to clarify.
Pero ito national they have a lot of cases na apprehend.
So kung ikaw dental technician, hay kapag a-apply for para ma-license ka.
Sa PRC.
Oh, okay.
But actually nag-eskwela na itira. Itira la kulang is license. We encourage them to get license para, di ba, nga tanan legal.
Okay, sige. So any more suggestions? Comments? Amendments? Clarifications? Discussions? The Honorable Anacta Sadap?
Honorable Presiding Officer, I would like to move for the proposed dental health practice ordinance to be passed and approved for second reading.
I second the
Any
motion.
objections? Further discussions? None? So the proposed ordinance supporting proper dental health practice and penalizing illegal dental health practitioners in the city of Borongan is hereby approved on second reading. Sige, go ahead.
If there are no more additional comments and suggestions, I would like to move for the proposed ordinance supporting proper dental health practice and penalizing illegal dental health practitioners in Borongan City be passed and approved for third reading.
I second the
Any
motion.
objections? Further discussions? None? So the proposed ordinance supporting proper dental health practice and penalizing illegal dental health practitioner in the city of Borongan is hereby approved on third and final reading. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Committee on Laws and Rules and Health, resolution authorizing the local chief executive to enter into any form of contracts or memorandum agreement with establishments or agencies urgently needed for all COVID-19 related matters.
So the committee chair on Laws and Rules and Health, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. This is a joint committee report regarding a resolution authorizing the local chief executive to enter into any form of contracts or memorandum of agreement with establishments or agencies urgently needed for all COVID-19 related matters. The Joint Committee conducted a committee meeting on June 2, 2020 at the Sangguniang Panlungsod Session Hall, which started about 10:30 a.m. to tackle about the above-titled resolution. The following attended the committee meeting: Honorable Cainday, Honorable Anacta, Honorable Chu, Honorable Bagakay, Honorable Limbauan, Honorable Arago, Honorable Anacta, and our City Vice Mayor, Honorable Chusongko, and Ms. Marisol Quimada. After careful review of the subject resolution, the committees have the honor to submit this joint report to the honorable body as follows. On May 27, 2020, the above titled resolution was referred by the Sangguniang Panlungsod in session to the Joint Committees on Laws and Rules and Committee on Health, the Committee on Laws and Rules taking the lead, and that on Section 22, Paragraph C of RA 7160 or the Local Government Code sets out the general rule that no contract may be entered into by the local chief executive without prior Sangguniang authorization. During discussion, the constitutional principle of potestas delegate non delegare potest or non-delegation of powers has been raised. The Sangguniang exercises only delegated special power conferred on us by the Congress. Thus, the Sangguniang cannot further delegate the power to it by the people. A delegated power must be discharged directly by the delegate, not through the delegate's agent. Further delegation therefore constitute violation of the trust reposed by the delegator to the delegate. The committee also discussed that the resolution shall specify the terms and conditions to be embodied in the contract. It was further discussed that when an extremely urgent event is needed regarding the response to the COVID-19, the Sangguniang is always ready to conduct a special session to authorize the local chief executive regarding this matter. The consensus of the committee is that what is being asked is a blanket authority. Under the law, the Sangguniang is not allowed to do so, and it will violate the transparency requirement. After thorough deliberation and discussion, the committee hereby recommends the need for separate resolution granting authority to the city mayor with regards to any form of contract or MOA. The committee meeting adjourned at about 11:30 a.m. I therefore submit my committee report to this honorable body.
Okay, so what is the pleasure of the body? Any more comments, further discussions? Honorable Cainday?
Honorable Presiding Officer, just to clarify, it just seemed that the authority that was being asked from the Sangguniang, it seemed to be a blanket authority, but it was specific only for COVID-19 response. But then again, during the committee meeting, it is more prudent for us to reject this request since the Sangguniang Panlungsod will always be open and will try as much as possible to expedite the authorization of requests for COVID-19 response when needed. Because under the law, as stated by our committee chairman, our powers are only delegated and we cannot give a blanket authority because it is not within our powers to give that kind of authority.
Okay. So any more comments? Suggestions? None? So the resolution, the Honorable Daza? What was your...
The recommendation note is that there's a need for separate resolution granting authority to the city mayor with regards to any form of contract or MOA. It means that one resolution, one MOA or one contract.
Okay, sige. So please furnish a copy to the city mayor regarding the matter.
Yeah,
okay.
Thank you.
Sige.
I will.
So next item, Mr. Secretary. Resolution.
We now move on to the new business, proposed ordinance. An ordinance for the realignment and utilization of fund in the amount of 12,295,087 pesos from the 70% pre-disaster preparation and mitigation fund of 2020 annual budget of City Disaster Risk Reduction Management Office.
So the Madam Floor Leader.
Honorable Presiding Officer, our offices received this executive agenda from our city mayor to pass an ordinance as unanimously approved by the CDRRMC Council, City of Borongan, for the realignment and utilization of fund amounting to 12,295,087.91% from our pre-disaster preparation and mitigation fund of 2020 for the following purposes. The first one is relief assistance or distribution to municipalities in Eastern Samar severely affected by Typhoon Ambo, which is amounting to 5,700,000 pesos. Cash assistance to the municipality of San Roque, Northern Samar, affected by Typhoon Ambo, amounting to 50,000. Procurement of additional essential goods, medical supplies, equipment, and fixtures intended for COVID-19 response, for MOE medical, dental, and laboratory supplies expenses amounting to 1.5 million pesos, other supplies and material expense amounting to 3.5 million pesos, capital outlay, machinery, equipment, and fixtures amounting to 1,545,087 pesos and 91 centavos. For the procurement of additional essential goods, the medical supplies amounting to 700,669 pesos and 787.91 are for examination gloves, surgical face masks, alcohols, vitamins, and 95 breathable face masks, PPEs, disposable, nasal cannula, goggles, and then prepositioning of essential goods amounting to 3.5 million. Machineries, which consists of 2 sets of silent generator to be placed in Barangay Luksoon and Bugas checkpoint amounting to 720,100. CCTV installation in Barangay Luksoon and Barangay Bugas checkpoint amounting to 985,100 pesos. Tent with insulator and electrical wirings amounting to 570,100 pesos. These are, Honorable Presiding Officer, good appropriations as in our preparation for whatever for the COVID-19 pandemic. I move that we refer this matter for further discussions to the Committee on Finance, jointly with the Committee on Health, the Committee on Finance taking the lead in order to discuss further these appropriations and maybe give a committee report by Wednesday in our next regular session.
Any second? Any objections? None? So the motion is hereby approved. We refer this to the Committee on Finance and Health. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Amendment to the Appropriation Ordinance Number 5 dated April 20, 2020, entitled an ordinance appropriating the amount of 69,432,004 pesos as supplemental budget for the calendar year 2020, sourced from national government's Bayanihan Grant to the cities and municipalities, which will be used for various coronavirus disease 2019 related expenses.
Madam, the Honorable Floor Leader.
Honorable Presiding Officer, this is in line with the Bayanihan Grant to citizen municipalities, wherein we were granted 69,432,004 pesos as our assistance. In Appropriation Ordinance Number 5, which we have approved last April 20, 2020, there was a line item there containing a purchase of customized mobile testing or medical laboratory to be equipped with high-tech digital X-ray machine, hematology analyzer machine, and other laboratory apparatus or machines and accessories amounting to 6,600,000 pesos. Upon recommendation of our Honorable Mayor, he stated that during their procurement of this kind of mobile laboratory, it was found out that they needed additional 7 million pesos in order to procure a mobile laboratory, which we no longer have the capacity to buy since we already have depleted funds. So there was a proposal for this appropriation ordinance to be amended in order that the 6,600,000 pesos appropriated for a mobile laboratory, it be further broken down into one, a Toyota Coaster minibus amounting to 4,100,902, a hematology analyzer LWD 3600, 460,000 pesos, hematology reagents amounting to 23,002 pesos, hematology reagents control 13,000 pesos, tabletop low-speed centrifuge with 12 by 15 ml rotor amounting to 201,090 pesos, laboratory biological microscope with LED light 16 eyepiece and 5 megapixel camera amounting to 119,642, revolving stools amounting to 4,141, and an X-ray, Q-ray 5 X-ray, portable or digital, amounting to 1,678,223. Honorable Presiding Officer, even if I am no medical expert on this field, I think that these are urgent and needed in order for us to be responsive to the COVID-19 pandemic. I therefore move that we pass and approve an ordinance amending our appropriation ordinance number 5, realigning again the amount of 6,600,000 pesos for mobile laboratory to the earlier enumerated procurements.
Any objections? Further discussions? None. So the proposed amendments to the ordinance number 5 is hereby approved. Next item, Mr. Secretary.
A review of 2020 barangay annual budget of Barangay Ipoblacion and Barangay Pipilitan.
The Madam Floor Leader.
Honorable Presiding Officer, I move that we refer the matter to the Committee on Finance, chaired by yours truly, for further discussions.
Any second? Any objections? None. So we refer this to the Committee on Finance. Next item, Mr. Secretary.
Announcement.
Mr. Presiding Officer,
Yes, go ahead, Honorable
manifestation.
Escoto.
Yesterday, we have a power interruption at about 4 o'clock. I texted the general manager through my that to ask what is the cause of the power interruption. Then he replied me, he texted me na in GCP interruption 4.12 from in GCP Boray substation. Tapos nakadahan niya message pa na board meeting kamiya na request si President Renherna sa approval ng SP sa endorsement sa NGCP 69 kV looping ng Santa Rita to Kunapundan.
Yes, yes. So.
Naka-transfer power sana tayo. I called him, but he did not answer my call because I want to be clarified about his kuhan. So, I would like to ask may daan na ba niya ni Renher na?
Propose that and reviews that. Yes, go ahead, Honorable Aso.
Thank you. Actually, that matter was raised during the IETF and PDC joint committee meeting in the province at ISO. At ibabaw noon, amphitheater. In fact, it was raised why the recurrence of this brownout in the province caused that by the fact that we have only one line, access line. Diyan na agi hagaba. May dagtadi di linya ha. Santa Rita to, Lawaan. Ang problema ko no dida, sir, ni Mayor Athens, kaya ano usugay, para di na kita nagkaka-brownout. May danira problemahan, aragi, ang tuhuna, nadiri kasi ang tagada. Waray pa ni GCP pagkaka-restore yan. Kasi di problema pa nga na yan.
So, Mr. Presiding Officer, paano makita nung era request? Ano yun? Through...
Anong era resolution nga rin i-request?
Endorsement. Through resolution.
Ano ang klase ng endorsement?
Basta na sila ya. Hanera meeting kakulop na kuha ni Mr. Renher na nga request niya ng approval ng SP sa endorsement. So, approval, nangangahulugan, may daan niya yagin hatag na nga.
Yes, go ahead, Honorable Arag. Can you use the microphone?
During a visit from the Isamilco party, the president of Mr. Herman, brought up pagpahimon endorsement. We have not taken any action of that. Anto pa na kanina hira. I cannot remember what date was it, but they were here. I think three of them were here to request that. One of their request was that support of, I think, address to the people of, to the concerned agencies, one of the concerned agencies was the NGCP. And then the elementary school was at the school in Limbauan, na wala tutuyang. Yeah. Amo na nga.
Pero dapat mag-istorya ng GCP ito na tagada.
So, ano itrano bitated support and endorsement? What would be?
Kung ano ang klase endorsement?
Yes,
go ahead.
Hindi ka masyado involved eh.
Okay, Honorable Cainday.
Honorable Presiding Officer, if I remember it correctly, we did not approve the resolution because the request was for us to endorse that NGCP expropriate the land in Santa Rita, which is not proper. It is only the government who can expropriate. So maybe our resolution is to encourage the LGU, who is in charge of Barangay Santa Rita, to expropriate the lot in favor of for NGCP, for us to have a better public electricity in Eastern Samar. So that should be the wordings of our resolution. Di rin kita mag-aalaw nga NGCP mag-expropriate because they do not have that power. Only the government can do that.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Chair, if we are going to address our resolution to Santa Rita, pero tama, their parent entity na, magasto sila para lahat din niya, Eastern Samar.
Itutugod tayo na sugarin pag-buhat.
And they're another entity. They are not concerned about it. Kaya di mahirap tigamit elektrisidad. Kita man din Eastern Samar.
Anyway, it has been raised in the
It's during the PDC meeting.
Oh, that's good.
Na ito, nga dapat i-resolve it diretso, parang brown out.
May ba na?
Maging history na lang ito, para may dataligid sa nga.
Yes, that's very good.
Asya nga naging
Go ahead,
raise ko
Honorable,
niya na kay para nag-text maak para mag-clarify ni Ira kung ano tat din darahin niya na makikita met ni Ira kung ano.
Yes, mo pa'y kumanihera para pag-restoryahan ta. Sige. So, any more announcements? No more. So, well, dire na announcement pero a reminder lang to the chairman of the committees. Since we're trying to get back to the new normal, hopefully makapagtrabaho na nga kita mo kapag committee meetings, hearings, kay para ma-fast track ito na mga trabahoon. So, reminder lang.
And,
yes, go ahead, Honorable Cainday.
Honorable Presiding Officer, I would like to address a concern to our SP Secretary. If we can provide us a copy of the minutes that were previously approved, the hard copy, so that we can sign it already. Thank you.
Mr. Secretary, please take note. Okay. Any more announcements? Yes, go ahead, Honorable
And
Sada.
also, there are some of our previous sessions, we do not still have approved minutes. Like our 19th regular session, Sir Tony, and only the journal, but not the minutes. We have not approved the minutes yet for that session.
Sige. Please take note, the Secretariat. Any more announcements? None. Next item, Mr. Secretary.
Adjournment.
Honorable Presiding
Yes, go
Officer,
ahead, Honorable.
I move for the adjournment of our 40th regular session.
In a second. Any objections? Further discussions? None. So the 40th regular session is now adjourned.